This video is about text wrap on HackerRank Python. This task is ask us to type one string in the first line. Yeah, it can be very long, and then type the width of the string to separate it. Right. So for example, this is 4, and then what should be the output is to return a string, a single string with new 9 characters where the breaks should be. Okay. So it returns 4 characters in each line to separate the previous string. And let's try to check the code. By the default, it use input, this one, to take the first string, and then it use another input to take the second. But because I taught in my previous video, like by default in Python, input bracket is a string by default, but we want it to be an integer, so that's why here it's write int as a group. And then the next line, it wrote a function to pass these two arguments inside, and then that's whatever we need to write. The last is to print the result. Our job is to write the function. Okay, let's start. Okay. I think initially we need to write empty string as default, and then in a traditional way we can use a for loop. Okay, so for I range, okay, so it starts from 0. Suppose we write some value here where starts from 0 as default, and then in each loop it will add 1 as a default, but that is not what we want. We want it to take the max width as the user input, and for example this is 4. So what we should do is write 0 here and then length string, or we can also let it to start from 1 and then plus 1. Yeah, I think this also works because the end of the for loop is not included. If this value is 5, so it will loop from 1 until 4. It will not include this value, so that's why we need to add 1. And then here is very important. We should write maximum width. So instead of add 1 in each process, so we need it to jump for 4 in each process, right? So that's the reason. And then now what should we do is we can use one array. Yeah, s plus equals to s plus equals to string. It starts from I, and then I plus max width. And then again, because in each line it should be create a new line, right? So this is also very important. We should write this to separate, and then at the end we return the string. Okay, yeah, here is runtime error because I was not supposed to. You can see the first letter was missing, right? And for each of the characters, it's all shift for one for one index of the array. So that means I should start from 0. Yeah, because Python in Python array the index starts from 0 by default. So now I'm sure it works. Yeah, right. So okay, this is this approach, but then other than the traditional way of the for loop, we can also use the wrap function which was given by the tutorial. So you can see there are 2 wrap functions. One is text wrap.wrap, that is to you can see that is to separate it. So the first here the first argument in the function is the string itself, and second is the is the width of the characters known at most. Yeah, but to be honest, I'm a little bit confused. Here is 8, but here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so why it is not always 7 or 8? Why the number is different? Is that because of there is one space separate? Yeah, I think probably it's because of there is one space to separate, so it cannot take. And so, for example, if yeah, okay, I get it's I think most probably because it cannot break one word at the middle, so it will either take it will either take 2 words or 3 words uh, entirely within the range of the 8, or it will only take a single word if there is some extra letters in the word. Like for example, here if it wants to group for 3 words, so then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would be 9 and it's beyond 8, so that's why it can only take up to here, which is 7. Oh, sorry, I mean here, which is 7 characters, right? And then similar way here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is exactly enough. No, it's not exactly enough. It's a little bit less. But imagine if I want to group another vary, it would be another uh, 5 spaces extra. So then it would be 11, and that is beyond the range of 8. Okay, so anyway, this text wrap function, this one is nothing but to separate one string into different sub strings, to separate one array of string into the sub arrays. Okay, so and then another is fill. The fill is basically to very okay. So fill is a function wraps a single paragraph in text and returns a single string containing the wrapped paragraphs. Okay, I think the like the difference one for the text wrap, like the previous one is in the same line, but this one is separate and then break it into different of the new lines. So all right, so let's come back to this page. If we want to use the wrap, then we can use another method. Yeah, I think here we can directly return text wrap dot. Okay, let me have a try. So here it could be text wrap dot fill string, and then max width. Okay, sorry. Yeah, let me see. Okay, yeah, it works. And what about submit the code? Yeah, it also works. And then what if I want to use the another method? This one, wrap return text wrap dot wrap, because this one doesn't create the new lines. So what we should do is to we should manually to create new lines. And so in this case we can use the function of join so join this one. Yeah, and then we can put yeah this also work. And then I just curiously, sorry, I want to put single quote. Okay, it also works. And let's try for all of the cases. Yeah, it works. So anyway, this like the join function is basically to make a new line together with the to take it in place of to replace the space into new lines. Yeah, right. I mean to replace the gap between each items of the array to the slash n as a new line. So okay, thanks so much for following my videos, and see you in the next video.